Okay, are you all ready for another date with the Midnight Skeptic? It's time once again for my weekly rant. And this is the Midnight Skeptic, and I'm recording this on Friday, February 16th of this year, 2024, at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, I am woke, I am woke, I am woke, woke. The right wing's hate trope, meaning the word woke, has pretty much evaporated from GOP talking points. Loser DeSantis has largely abandoned it as a talking point. You don't hear it much anymore, so yeah, good for that. Yes, it's time for another rant from the Midnight Skeptic, and here's my play-in music. You are listening to KPCA LP, Petaluma, California, at 103.3 FM and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. And this is the Midnight Skeptic. The views of the Midnight Skeptic are not, repeat, not necessarily the views of KPCA or any of its affiliates. As my YouTube viewers could see, or can see, I'm eating while on camera. I know, it's unprofessional, but it's a homemade by me beef stew, and it's the first thing I've really cooked on my own since I came back here from my surgery down in UC's San Diego Medical Center, where they removed a bunch of emboli from my lungs. Okay, so I'm not going to apologize for that, but it's just something I need to do. Okay, the mission statement of the Midnight Skeptic is to help rid this country of all right-wing ignorant MAGA heads, meaning Republicans or the GOP party, which has been taken over by the orange sociopathic bloat bag, by the way. We only have one political party here in this country that intends to govern in a way that helps the populace of this country. And the other, what used to be the Republican Party, has now devolved into a cult of their God King, the orange sociopathic bloat bag. And when history books are written about this era from, say, 2012 to now, 2024, with the 2024 election right around the corner, really about 9 months away. They're not going to look too kindly on the GOP party, what used to be a political party. The roots of this go way, way back. And I've talked about this before, but it goes all the way back to the time when Ronald Reagan, in an effort to win the presidency, teamed up with evangelical Christians. And he was really not that himself, but He was advised by Republican strategists to team up with Jerry Falwell, among others. Okay, enough of that. I will go into that in more detail at some upcoming date. Right now, I want to do my shout outs. And first, and will always be first on the shout out list now, is Mickey Huff and his two cohorts at Project Censored, which has been around for a while now. Every year they publish a book called The State of the Free Press 2024, or whatever year it is that they publish it. It's been going on for quite a while. His two cohorts are Nolan Higdon and Andy Lee Roth, both professors at colleges around here. I've mentioned them before. And Mickey Huff is a history professor over at Diablo Valley College. I'm not sure if he teaches more than one class or not. Next time I see him, I'll have to get that cleared up. But he's at least a part-time professor at Diablo Valley College over there in the East Bay. Okay, Art Kuznets and Ralph Scott, who is attempting to bring back the Petaluma radio players, of which I was a part, pre-COVID closed down. So we've had only one meeting so far, and I'm looking forward to further meetings and readings of plays, radio plays, submitted by authors to the Petaluma radio players. Okay, watch this space. Okay. Locally, John Crowley at the Aquas Cafe, who has created sort of a community of people that attend functions there regularly, and nonprofits and arts collectives meet there regularly. The next thing that I will probably attend is on the 29th of this month, which is called Drinks with Shrinks. Let me start that over again. Drinks with Shrinks. And that's on the 29th at 4:30. And one of them, whose name is Todd Disney, he's a psychotherapist, a psych doctor, Psy-D is what the abbreviation is. At 5:15, we'll be at a different location, and I will inform everybody of this next week. It's over near here in Petaluma, the building that's right in back of Mary's Pizza and CVS Pharmacy, near where you see all those metal sculptures, back in that area. And I don't know why he's doing it there, but he's going to give a lecture on his particular brand of psychotherapy. Okay, anyway, and Tom Gaffey, who is the godfather of the Phoenix Theater. I'm not sure if he would appreciate me calling him that, but he's the director of it and is the kindly uncle for a lot of alternative teens here in Petaluma. Okay, Tim Conrad, great photographer. Tom and Nancy Throw, Kevin and Lori. Happy 75th birthday coming up, Lori. Dave and Rosita Takach in Sacramento. Rich and Kathy in Sebastopol. Dennis and Megan down in Tiburon. Yvonne and Rick in San Francisco. Stan and Kathy in Pacifica. Aunt Jackie and Samantha and Melanie down in LA. My brother Brandon and his wife Mina in Arizona, and Andrea, their daughter, their middle child, and my niece. She's a nurse down there in the Phoenix area, along with her husband Tim, a retired Marine. Booyah! And in Arizona, Patagonia, the town, Karina Hilliard, the snake removal lady, animal control officer. Okay, Arkansas, Shannon Reed used to be a massage therapist here at a spa over in Sonoma. Brain freeze, I can't remember the name of it, but she moved on with her life and she's now in Arkansas. Down in Florida, Nelson and Alice Lydell. Nelson, I haven't heard from you in a long time. Let me know what's going on, and I hope your medical condition is being addressed. And Amelia Beamer in Florida, check her out on YouTube via Locus Magazine, Locus. It's a magazine of science fiction, horror, and fantasy. And Locus Magazine reviews books in that genre. And she'll let you know via her YouTube site what books are being reviewed for that month's issue of Locus Magazine. Okay, so if you're a fan of science fiction, horror, or fantasy, check them out. Check her out. Dr. Dave up in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, the world's greatest pulmonary doctor who has now turned to art, painting. His unique fantasy works are on sale at daverubinpainting.com. I think that's how you reach his site. Check him out there. On Long Island, Geraldine Goldfinger. And then back on the West Coast, the Sonora crowd. Robert Finnegan, Bob and Sandy Fisher, and their two offspring, Brad and Martha. Darrell Larson, Judy May, Kathy Francis, Lynn Quayle, John Gleason up in Twainhart. That's up further in the mountains beyond Sonora. And his two daughters, Tiffany and Jennifer. And then swinging down to Mexico City is Rosamalia Lopez Negrete. Okay, now to the meat of the program. Let me get the right page. I used the first broadcast of my return up to the Midnight Skeptic haunt here in Petaluma. So I don't have to write it out every single time. I'm kind of lazy that way. Okay. Okay, good news. I am going to try to start every program with good news. And this is one of those times. Excuse me for just a moment. I am really hungry, and I cooked up a whole crock pot of beef stew, and it's the first time I've done it since I've been back up here from my surgery, and I usually eat those pre-made salads from Safeway, and they're all good for you, and I flesh them out with a handful of baby spinach drizzled with Evu extra virgin olive oil, and a little splash of balsamic vinegar. That's all I need. Okay, back to the good news after a sip of orange juice. Okay, a 20-year anniversary as of this last Monday, February 12th. And that date marked 20 years since the Winter of Love. 20-year anniversary of San Francisco under then Mayor Gavin Newsom, who directed the marriage license issuing person down at City Hall to start issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples. So that was 2004. And the first 3 days of that saw 900 couples apply for same-sex couples marriage licenses. And of course, this got Republicans' underwear tied up in knots. So they managed to put a stop to that. And in 2008, Proposition 8 was passed by the voters of California, who most of the people who voted for it were ignorant of the meaning of love, of equal rights for same-sex couples, and Proposition 8 passed, which prohibited in the Constitution the issuance of marriage licenses to same-sex couples. Well, that undid all the good work that Mayor Newsom had done. And 2012, that was undone, and California resumed issuing licenses to same-sex couples. In 2015, the Obergefell decision came down in the Supreme Court, allowing for same-sex couples to once again start getting married. And that's where we are now. Republicans just can't stand to see two people happy that are, both of the same gender or sex, whatever. They are just, they are the cruel, mean cult of the orange sociopathic bloat bag. The sooner that we can vote them all out of office, the better. Okay. I want to tell you all about this, the Competitive Enterprise Institute. It's kind of like the Heritage Foundation or the Federalist Society, a hard, mean, cruel, right-wing organization, except that this one is quite well funded and dishes out money to all the right-wing hate groups in this country. Okay, the CEI, Competitive Enterprise Institute, founded in 1984 to advance principles of limited government, free enterprise, and individual liberty, except if you want to get married to a same-sex partner. You can't have liberty then. Okay, how they do it is by advancing public policy. A top funder of the Competitive Enterprise Institute has been Exxon. Um, they've donated $2.1 million since 1997. Now, they've stopped donating money to them because it's a bad look to be associated with these right-wing trolls. I, I'm not. Nobody said that in the Exxon hierarchy, but I figure that that's one of the reasons. In 2008, ExxonMobil cut off donations to CEI and other climate change denying organizations like Donors Trust, DT. I'll talk a little bit about that coming up. DT is, somebody said, and I'm quoting somebody, the dark money ATM of the conservative movement. Okay. All right. Good donors. The Tides Foundation, which was founded in 1976 by Drummond Pike. Okay, I have a... Oh, okay. I have an asterisk by his name, which means that I've researched him online and written something down. Okay, it was the Tides Foundation, founded in 1976 by Drummond Pike. Jane Bagley Lehman, can't read my own writing, capital Lehman, that's her last name. And she's heir to the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company fortune. Okay, and I guess even though she got all this inherited money from her dad, I guess, who was a big guy in the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, she was very progressive. Okay, so this Drummond Pike is a progressive political activist and was president of the Tides Foundation from 1976 to 2010. Now, he's still alive. He's now a principal at Equilibrium Capital Group. They manage global assets whose focus is sustainability. So they're a good capital management group. And Equilibrium Capital Group was founded in 1937 by Thomas Rowe Price Jr. And you see ads for them all the time. T. Rowe Price. Oh, okay, well, that's them. And they aren't as evil asset management as my knee-jerk reaction to companies like this would have me believe. Okay. All right, back to the Donors Trust. Whitney L. Ball, she died of breast cancer in 2015. And she was the daughter, and her brother, I don't know whether he's older or younger, but John P. Ball Jr., the son of their father, John Ball of West Virginia, who was a lawyer, who was disbarred for absconding with money from two elderly ladies who got them to change their wills naming him as a beneficiary along with his daughter and son. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take another quickie break. Anyway, the Ball family moved out to Park City, Utah, where they are now. And the son, John P. Ball Jr., is a business attorney. Okay. I know nothing about his ethics, but they got their money from their dad back in West Virginia, skimming money from these two elderly ladies who are now dead. And that's where Donors Trust got a bunch of their money, and they now donate it to various right-wing causes and organizations. Okay. The Family Friendly Economy, and that's an organization, rather left leaning, which is good, will spend $40 million in this upcoming election, 2024, backing President Biden's reelection and other Democratic candidates. Child care and elder care are Democratic Party concerns, along with the majority of voters. The Republican Party thinks that voters are solely concerned about immigration and balancing the budget and paying down the national debt and giving tax breaks to businesses in the hopes that the trickle-down theory of economics works. Well, it doesn't, and I won't go into that right now, but take the word of the Midnight Skeptic. Trickle-down economics does not work like proponents of it claim. Okay, back to elder care, child care, Democratic Party concerns. Okay, J. Glenn Hopkins, who is president of Hopkins House, a child care provider in Virginia, said, and he's talking about workers at his chain of child care facilities, quote, "Where we are now with employees post-pandemic is no better than where we were pre-pandemic. We're still hunting for qualified folks. Well, they need to be paid better, which is where federal subsidies come in. Child and elder care should receive federal subsidies as in European countries, but the GOP will never go for that. What is this? Paying people more money with federal monies? We're all for taxpayers, meaning corporations that pay a minuscule amount of taxes. That's who we're for. The mean, cruel Republicans of the GOP. They would rather stick needles in their eyes than help out working people. Speaking of evil trolls, Louisiana's new governor, Jeff Landry, in his anti-science administration, he has appointed nothing but fossil fuel corporation executives. Louisiana Climate Task Force, which was an office within the Louisiana governor's office, it's to be eliminated. Climate change is a hoax, according to him, and a lot of other ignorant GOP politicians. And he is a complete anti-abortion with no exceptions, except if the life of the mother is endangered. That's the only exception that he would be for. Incest and rape, well, too bad for the girl, according to Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry. I had a note here, MRFF, which is an organization, and that stands for Military Religious Freedom Foundation. And if military personnel feel that their non-Christian beliefs, like if you're Jewish or Muslim or any other religion or atheist, are being discriminated against, well, this is the organization that they can go to that will stand up for them, for their rights. You don't lose all your rights when you're in the military. Now, I don't have anything written down here. I don't know when it was founded or by whom. I assume that the fundamentalist Christian chaplains within the military services prompted a group of military personnel to form this organization, or maybe they formed it when they got out of the military. I don't know. I will talk about this more next week. Here's a good quote from the Dalai Lama. Now, I'm not Buddhist, but a lot of his quotes resonated with me, and here's one of them. When you talk, you are only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. And that is from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Now, I use the word His Holiness. He's not holy. And I will give you the meaning of that word in most context next week. The term holy, I'm not quite clear. I know it's religious. I know that the term holy, as applied to a person or a book, elevates it or should elevate it, according to religious people, above other more mundane secular things, which I disagree with, but I will go into that more next week. Now, here's an organization, and Mickey Huff, do you know about them? And I researched them as much as I possibly could on their website. It's called Floodlight, Floodlight. They were formed relatively recently as a non-profit newsroom that investigates interest stalling climate action. Well, who are they talking about? Of course, the fossil fuel industry creeps and the Republican Party creeps. Um, and they partner with NPR, National Public Radio, The Intercept, HuffPost, The Guardian, Grist, the LA Times, the Texas Tribune. Um, those are pretty much the list of left leaning organizations that are journalistic in nature. Emily Holden was the founder of it in 2021, and she came over to found Floodlight from The Guardian. And I don't know any more about Floodlight than that. I don't know where they are. I think they are up in the Seattle area, which would make sense, but I don't know for sure. And I can't find any more about them than that. Okay, good news. More good news. Continuation from the previous page about Gavin Newsom in 2004 issuing same-sex couple marriage licenses. Good news. Thursday, yesterday, on the 15th, was the historic day. In Greece, 176 out of 300 members of the Greek parliament voted for the measure, flying in the face of the Greek Orthodox Church. Legalization of same-sex marriage. Yay! Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis hailed the law that would also allow same-sex couples to adopt children and get full parental recognition. Okay, so that's Greece is the first religiously orthodox, as opposed to Catholic or Protestant Western Europe. They're the first ones to legalize same-sex marriage. They didn't. The government of Greece did. And so we've still got the Serbian Orthodox, the Ukrainian Orthodox, the Russian Orthodox countries to fight through their hate of the LGBTQ community. Sip time. Okay, I've got a little bit of bad news. Well, a lot of bad news. But this was not unexpected. Jailed Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, who was 47 years old, has died in prison. Our orange sociopathic bloat bag and Putin's puppet should rejoice, and he should eat an extra double cheeseburger. He's got to boost up his cholesterol levels. Hopefully, I hate to say this online, but the orange sociopathic bloat bag does not take care of his health very well, and maybe he won't be with us for very much longer. and he is 77 years old, and he keeps making disparaging comments about Joe Biden's age, 81. But Joe Biden, as far as I can tell, takes better care of his body than does the orange sociopathic bloat bag. Okay. But anyway, Alexei Navalny has died, and Trump can only wish that he will have the power to jail his opponents, just like Putin does. I still can't get over and am what's the word I'm looking for? Horrified by that press conference that Putin and Trump held after the Helsinki meeting between the two of them. Trump was fawning and looking at Putin like a dog looks at his master. It was horrifying. And he took Putin's word over the word of all of our intelligence operatives. Okay. Speaking of the orange sociopathic bloat bag, there's no doubt that he's going to be the hateful, cruel GOP nominee for president in 2024 election. And yes, they're both old, as Jon Stewart said on his return to the Daily Show this last Monday. And Jon Stewart will be hosting it every Monday from now on through the election. Indecision 2024. But yes, it's a fact that both Joe Biden, 81, and the orange sociopathic bloat bag, who's 77, despite what Carrie Lake said, he is not an old man. The orange sociopathic bloat bag is objectively an old man. Okay? Carrie Lake, by the way, I haven't heard her lately. I try to avoid seeing her on television, but I think she's still claiming that she is the duly elected governor of the state of Arizona. Okay, I have run out of my own notes. So here's an article that I meant to take notes on, but didn't. Okay, so I will read parts of this to you. The title of this article is Many Trans Americans Face Stigma and Financial Pain. This article isn't just about transgender young people or teens, it's just everybody. Transgender and non-binary Americans experience stark rates of unemployment and harassment according to the largest survey of their life experiences to date. The data reflect a long-standing pattern of discrimination at a time when states across the country have passed laws restricting their health care, bathroom access, and participation in sports. Um, the findings come from the U.S. Transgender Survey. I will look this up for the next show. Speaking of that, um, Leah Thomas has sued, I think, the Olympic Committee or some unit within the Olympic Committee for disallowing her to participate in her swimming events. Now, I will look that up and get more details about it. And I've talked about Leah Thomas, the Penn, University of Pennsylvania swimmer, and who transitioned, I think, in her sophomore or junior year of college. I will talk more about her again, but I disagree with her efforts. Okay? Now, I'm not anti trans in my humble opinion. If the Midnight Skeptic can ever be accused of being humble, a transgender person who is suffering from gender dysphoria should transition. If you're born a girl and you feel like you're a male, you should transition before puberty. That's my opinion, and I think I have some medical knowledge to back that up. And it's not only testosterone levels. Mainly it's that, but there are other complicating factors that go into this, both physiological, social, and familial factors that go into this. You should transition before puberty. Okay. There are things coming up for the next show and that I will get back to you on. And I haven't done my full 58 minutes yet, but I've run out of material. And for that, I apologize. Here is my play out music. You have been listening to The Midnight Skeptic on KPCA LP, Petaluma, California. And we're at 103.3 on the FM dial and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. Support community radio at patreon.com/Petaluma Community Access. And remember, think critically, think logically, but live joyously, and most importantly, pet your cats. Okay, I will be seeing you again next week, and I will download this to Petaluma Community Access. There, I was showing the YouTube people my yellow T-shirt with the KPCA logo on it. So until next week, I will probably be recording next week's show either Thursday or Friday. But this weekend is a 3-day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and President's Day Monday. So enjoy your extra time off from work or school or retirement or whatever you're listening to. Um, Enjoy yourselves and pet your cats. Bye bye.